come on in the room. The Bucks lose it tonight, 125-108 to the Indiana Pacers. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this series is now tied. Bucks lose it 125-108 to the Pacers, man. I'm laughing, but I'm not feeling good. But listen, we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay because Doc is our doctor. He writes out all of our scriptures. He gives us our medicine in our room. We are live, the Cream City crossover. It's the Guru Trey Crosby III.
JT.
Chris King.
Yeah, man, the Bucks lose at 125-108 to the Pacers tonight. Series tied at 1. A lot of performances that we can get into, that we will get into. Get at me, if you will, on the Twitter. At TCIIESQ. We'll also talk to you in the chat. Going to read all your comments. Let us know how you're feeling about a 125-108 loss, series tied at 1. How do you feel moving forward? What did you see? What did you think about tonight? Guys, I mean, I'll tell you this, and I know I'm slightly upbeat. I'm not super emotional, super down. I think a lot of people may be down tonight. But this series, again, at the end of the day, this series all depends upon the health of Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's it. Like that's what it depends on. There's no, are the Bucks better without Giannis? It's a stupid idea, stupid premise. Everything depends on the health of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Can he come back game 3? So if you're looking at it with that lens, that Giannis will be back game 3, that's the hope, obviously. If you're looking at it through that lens, then the Bucks did what they needed to do, which was they got a split here at home. You got the 1-1 split, and now big bad Giannis got to walk through the door in Indiana game 3. So, I mean, if you want to look at it that way, it's one thing. Because, I mean, I'm just looking at Pascal Siakam. And he's a good player. Fine, young player, good guy. 37 to 37, 11 and 6. He's not 37, 11 and 6. He put up 36. He's not almost a 40-point guy. Like, that's not Pascal Siakam. He's pump faking, right? And we know when Giannis comes back, that's going to change. So I'm not super upset at it. I understand it. If the Bucks don't have Giannis, it's going to be a tough series, but I think the Bucks will get Giannis back. It is what it is. And the Bucks lose it tonight, 125-108. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it, and we'll talk about it starting, of course, with our sponsor for the game recap, the law office of Daly M. Johnson. We need defense where?
Off the court.
Off the court, because the Bucks gave 125 tonight. And the law office of Daly M. Johnson give you criminal defense, traffic, and OWI defense, TROs, and injunctions. And the law office of Daly M. Johnson, you can give him a call at 608-893-8370. Give him a call. Go to his website, www.dmjlaw.com. Sign up for a free phone or in-person consultation with the law office of Daly M. Johnson. Let's see here. Game recap, going back to it. 34, 4 and 5 for Damian Lillard tonight. 10 for 21, 6 of 13 from 3, 8 and 9 from the free throw line. He was a minus 24, but here's another reason why I feel okay. Playoff Dame is here. Like, Damian Lillard has arrived. Damian Lillard is a playoff riser. Talk about playoff risers, playoff fallers. Damian Lillard is a playoff riser. He is back. He's back from the dead. If you thought it was a fluke in game 1, you are sadly mistaken, because Damian Lillard is back. He's a legitimate playmaker. This is who the Bucks traded for. We got our guy. If you want to call it 1A, 1B, whatever. But Damian Lillard is clearly stepped up and is playing a really good brand of basketball. So I'm really excited about what I got from Damian Lillard. Another reason why I'm okay. I'm here to dispel all the angst about what's going to happen here. I think the Bucks are going to be fine. Patrick Beverley, 5 points, 4 boards, 3 assists. I thought he was okay tonight. Like, I thought Patrick Beverley was okay, did a good job on Halliburton. Halliburton only had, 11 points, something like 12 points. So I'm okay with the job Patrick Beverley did. Brook Lopez, 22 and 3 assists. He was 6 and 7 from 3. Brook, great offensively. Defensively, we got to talk about how he's defending. And, again, some of it is just the limitations that he has. I don't know that he can get out there on Miles Turner. A lot of threes that are open. Bobby Portis ends up with a double-double, 14 and 11, but 14 points on 16 shots. Bobby Portis killed us tonight, guys. Like, he was legit. Like, if you wanted me to assign blame and to figure out where the blame goes, Bobby Portis was bad. I God bless, everybody in the crowd who likes to scream Bobby. But I get it. It's fun. It's cool. We understand it. But Bobby Portis, I mean, there were moments, the moment where I think the Bucks got to 2, and then he shoots a bad shot. Next thing they run it right, Indiana runs right back up to 9. I mean, poor decision. I can live with missed shots. I can't live with poor decisions, missing layups. I mean, throwing dunks over the basket. Like, what are we doing, man? I mean, just stupid. And then don't even get me started on making Pascal Siakam look like a Hall of Famer. So Bobby was bad tonight. There's no way around it. Bobby Portis was bad. That's why he's a sixth man. He's not somebody I think you can just put in the starting lineup and depend on an every night basis. There will be good times for Bobby Portis. Tonight wasn't one of them. Chris, 15, 5, and 6. Was scary for a moment for Chris. Fell down that first quarter. But Chris got it back together, composed. Again, I'm not upset at what I saw. Like, if Chris is your third guy, 15, 5, and 6 is great. But again, you need Giannis back. And so Chris is doing what I need him to do. I'm okay with it. Supporting cast, we call it the supporting ass. Is that what we doing? Call them the supporting ass tonight because they were a 2-pack of ass. Malik Beasley, 4 points, got 10 minutes, really get the garbage time. Trash. Jake Crowder, 2 points, 2 boards, 0 of 3. Trash. Pat Connaughton, 5.7 boards. I wasn't upset at Pat. I wasn't upset at AJ Green. It just wasn't enough. It was not enough from this bench unit, from the rest of the guys tonight, outside of really Damian Lillard. And again, Chris still had 15 points on 14 shots, but I was okay with Chris. But again, outside of those two and Patrick Beverley, again, there were some moments from Brook Lopez, but again, just was not good enough. You look on the Indiana side of things, all 5 starters, double figures. Miles Turner with 22, 7, and 6. Nembhard puts up 24 and 3. Halliburton, 12 points, 12 assists, 4 boards. Neesmith, 11.7 assists. And like I said, Pascal Siakam, 37, 11, and 6. So just too much from those guys. TJ McConnell with 6 points. Obi Toppin with 9 points, 8 boards to add to it. He did take 11 shots. But fellas, again, the Bucks seemed to run out of gas in the second quarter. In the third quarter, and they came out of half. Really, that the run at the end of the second got Indiana up. And Indiana wins every quarter, by the way. 30, 32, and 33. So the Indiana Pacers scored 30 points in every quarter. The Bucks did not break 30 points in any quarter. I thought the pace was a little too fast for the Bucks. I thought the Indiana Pacers got into their sets and really it was one of those things where we talked about the opposite of what happened in game 1, where the Bucks were able to kind of slow the pace and not allow teams to run it down. Made baskets, missed layups, missed 3. Whatever. Indiana was running. Like, it was a concerted effort to run, and the Bucks couldn't get back. There was one possession, I think, in the first half where I believe it was Beasley and Chris that were in, and both of the guys are pointing at somebody to go take the ball. And it's like, dude, if people are running up the floor, racing up the floor at you, stop all that pointing. Go take the ball. Don't point at somebody else. Go stop ball. Like, that is like the number one. I mean, that is like, that's AAU stuff. Ball coming out, you stop ball. Ace, like, point to get the other guy. You go get the ball. Don't point for somebody else to go get the ball. So that kind of stuff happened. They raced down the floor on us. They got up good shots. They got up threes. What did Indiana shoot from 3? Let me see tonight. Indiana, 16 threes. So Indiana, I think, was a franchise high for them. 16 threes in a franchise playoff high. 16 and 36, 45% from 3. And the Bucks shot 13 and 32, 40% from 3. And then Indiana. So they beat you in the paint. They beat you from the 3-point line. Indiana did what they needed to do. So again, I'm giving hats off to Indiana. I think, again, I'll say this. I think everything depends on when Giannis comes back. That's a little what I saw. JT, what'd you see?
A whole lot of bad, right? Let's start with the good. First off, Damian Lillard. You gotta give him credit. Comes out that first quarter with 15. It's like 3 for 5 from 3. Was absolutely balling, right? In that first quarter, you saw the aggression, you saw the burst, you saw what you needed to see out of him. And again, you got to give Dame credit because Dame really is coming out the gate looking like he's trying to put this team on his back. And that's exactly what we brought him here for. Now, you realize only 3 Bucks players scored points in the first quarter period, right? That was Dame with like 15. I think Brook had 9. Beasley had 2. Not great, right? But that's just something to think about. Having said that, still competing. Bucks were 100% competing there. I thought Brook Lopez. I mean, again, Brook Lopez looked like he showed up, looked like he wanted to show up tonight. Now, at least offensively, he looked like he did. I did not think that Brook Lopez defensively, he has not looked good. We've talked about the limitations as well. One thing I thought puzzling though was Brook Lopez finished the game with 1 rebound. He had more blocks and rebounds tonight, right? He had, and you saw that big block from him in the fourth quarter. But defensively, yeah, I agree with you. I think Giannis probably neutralizes Pascal because this is I mean right now Siakam looks like first team All NBA the way he's balling out there right now. It's a mess. Let me see here. Check some other notes here. Man, the second half. We are sleepwalking through that third. I don't know what it is. Are we eating oranges at halftime? Are we eating pizza? I'm not really sure. I don't know if guys are in the locker room with the shoes off, laid up, or what. But at the end of the day, again, the first half of that third quarter, we just look bad, right? Whole lot of pain. We look sluggish. We look lethargic. We look like we don't care. And I've ignored a lot of what people talk about. Oh, we're old. They're like, oh, we're old. Man, that fourth quarter, we did look old tonight. We look old. We look unorganized. We just look sloppy. And it wasn't even about, I mean, some of it was shot selection where you kind of wonder, like, man, but it just was a whole lot of bad. And we talk about supporting cast and supporting ass. I agree with you, Trey. Crowder stunk. Beasley stunk. Beasley stinks. Beasley got an odor issue at this point. Just stinks, right? Like just flat out, it's bad. The bench couldn't do anything. Yes, Pat Connaughton limitations, Derek Bird. You just need more. This was frustrating because I felt like we had this, and I know it was a sequence in the fourth quarter where I think Crowder missed a three. Pacers rattle off 8 to 10 straight points, and we just could not recover after that. But this is just disappointing because we had a lot of opportunity to win. But my last point. Where the hell's our defense, right? Some of it was the Pacers hitting everything, right? Miles Turner cooking you from 3 in the fourth, and even Halliburton, right? Now, to be fair, this is another straight night where you could argue that you've neutralized the scoring ability of Halliburton and TJ McConnell because, again, they combined for less than 20 points. Obviously, Halliburton had an impact a bit with his passing, but, for the most part, like it's just bad. Where were our stops? Whenever it felt like we got momentum, I know after the Pat Connaughton foul and the flagrant foul in there. I think we were down 3 or 4 at that. We just couldn't figure this thing out. We looked like we I don't know if it was we ran out of gas or did we just look a step slow? We just look like a bunch of old guys showing up trying to play, intramurals. We look like a bunch of med students, law students trying to play a bunch of freshmen intramurals just getting cooked. That's pretty much what happened in that fourth.
Yeah, I just got to be the first one or I guess second one, third one to say that, look, Dame was just mesmerizing tonight. He was incredible. And it's just super unfortunate that the supporting cast was so bad because it allowed them to be able to guard him even tighter than they were in the first half. So they got to limit Damian Lillard a little bit in that second half. And when you don't get any contributions from anyone else, it's a lot easier to make sure you have your bodies on Dame. So that was obviously tough to watch, especially because we still felt like we had the opportunity to keep chopping away at it, keep chipping away, and it just wasn't enough because nobody else could hit a damn shot. Like I'm talking about Jay Crowder out there missing wide open ones, Bobby Portis. The one that stuck with me was the transition one where he's got a 2-on-1 and he just goes up and the guy basically gives him a dunk and he just throws it over the rim and it's Pacers ball and he's crying about it getting deflected. Like, dude, that was just the dumb mistakes that really kind of lost you this game. And I thought the Bucks, like you said, Trey, they fed into what the Pacers wanted to do. Obviously, it's great when the Bucks are scoring at a higher level and getting stops, but then the gas runs out, right? And then they start to hit their shots and get stops their way, and they just keep it going throughout the rest of the game. And the Bucks had no answer because, like I said, nobody was hitting shots. So, yeah, I think they got tired out a little bit. It was great to have that lead in the first quarter with Dame and Brook cooking, but it just wasn't sustainable. That pace was not sustainable for this Bucks team to keep running at that type of level with a younger team and a more deep team at that. And, yeah, I thought Brook was good offensively, but it was just very shaky, the defense on Siakam. I think it was Miles Turner and Tyrese Halliburton who were able to just confuse the Bucks defense all the time, whether it was the screen and roll, whether it was Turner catching it on the high post. They ran some good action off of that. And a lot of times there's just open threes for Indiana. So I'm hoping we have the right adjustments. And maybe our best adjustment is just get Giannis back because I can't stand Pascal Siakam looking like a number one option when we're limiting Tyrese Halliburton so much.
Well, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. The Bucks' best adjustment is going to be getting Giannis back. There's no question about that. I do have a question though. When we talked about Doc Rivers, and I don't know, somebody in the chat, give me your thought process on why this happened. I'm not understanding why Brook Lopez is on Pascal Siakam, or like why that's a matchup. I don't understand like what the thought process is, why he would be the better option versus even a Bobby Portis. I know the Bucks went zone and that didn't seem to stop anybody either. I don't like, again, I don't know what you do unless maybe you try to zone up behind Pascal when he gets it. Maybe you do start to try to really send that double to Pascal when he gets the ball. But the Bucks have so I thought the Indiana Pacers and Rick Carlisle made an adjustment. One of those adjustments was to make sure, right, that they were running and they were really getting out and dictating tempo, dictating pace. So number one, you've got to. There's just no excuse for it. You got to get back on defense. That's just basic, right? That's basic. And then two, you've got to get the ball. If Giannis isn't going to be available, I don't know if you got to get the ball out of his hands. Like you've got to find a way to get the ball out of his hands. And the way they're defending him, it did not work all night. And so this is where you make your money as a coach. What is going to be your adjustment? Where is your adjustment? Do you need to send a double? Do you need to think about doing other things to try to slow down Pascal Siakam?
I would agree. You got to do something. Like you got to, because right now he's hitting everything. But I guess the issue that you do run into though is, I mean, how limited are you with your personnel when you don't have Giannis when it comes to guarding him and the way he plays? Like I think Brook is too. I don't have a ton of faith in Bobby. I think Brook is too slow. I think. I just think it's kind of one of those things where you're going to have deficiencies there, and it's got to figure out what you can live with. You can't live with them scoring damn near 40. I know that's not going to work. But yeah, like legitimately, do you think with that personnel without Giannis, like what can we really do?
Yeah, that's the problem. I would kind of agree with that because they tried everything. Like you saw Jay Crowder even out there trying to check him, and he was. I mean, I wouldn't even say too good. He just. Yeah, maybe just too good for those three, Bobby, Brook, and Pascal. And you would hope that bringing Giannis back is like I said the best adjustment. But yeah, it might be all you can do. I mean, maybe you can't even throw Ajax out there because he don't play. So like
no. Yeah, I don't think. The Ajax, and I heard people talking about Ajax and Marjan in the comments. It's just not going to be the answer. It's just not going to be the answer. Because mainly because they haven't. Again, if your guys, if they don't play, you can't then throw them out there and expect for them to do anything. The time we talked about this last after game one, the time to throw those guys out there would have been in the regular season. I just don't know that you. Again, now if there's maybe you could have given them 5 minutes. I don't think that's an answer for like stopping Pascal though. Like that's just not. It's not going to work. Let's go to the chat that is sponsored today by Autograph. Autograph sponsoring our chat. Autograph, it's an app. Autograph is the app where real fans get unreal rewards by bringing the best content for your team into one place. Autograph, the first app that can recognize and reward fans, turning their passion into access and experience. You can get articles from your favorite team's blogs, publishers directly into the app. Listen to top podcast hosts in the app. We're on the app. You can refer your squad, get rewarded together. And here's the best thing, guys. On this Autograph app, you sign up for the Autograph app, you can be entered potentially, or go and look into the offers. There are potential tickets, prizes for the Bucks, everything you want. So if you want Bucks content, everything, you go to the Autograph app, and you know what you do. There should be a link that our guy Chris King is going to put into the chat here. If he did it already, you go to the Autograph app and you put in our referral code Cream City Crossover. That's Cream City Crossover. You go there, you get all no spaces. You get all types of Bucks content. So that's what you do. Okay, let's go to the chat and see what we got here. Green Ranger says tough one tonight, fellas. Dame should have taken 40 shots. Arcel McGowan says rough night. The Bald Eagle says too much Dame, too much Chris, too much old in the lineup, and the coach needs some new guys. Time to offset. Are we quitting? Like, what do you? I've seen some of this stuff on Twitter too. Like, what? Too, it's all like people act like the series is over. Like, relax. Todd Merrill says Giannis just needs to be on the floor so he can get some fouls on Siakam, and so Siakam has to play some D and pick up some fouls. I agree with that. Reggae fan says, what about protecting your home court? Again, you try to protect it. I mean, 100%. You do what you could do, but the Bucks are just limited. Like, I don't know if you put this Bucks team minus Giannis against the Pacers, I think I think the Bucks could win in 7 without Giannis. But again, I think the advantage would go to Indiana, just because they are just a deeper team and a better team. Giannis really is I don't want to say the X factor, but everything changes when you have the best player on the floor. So I mean, we say protecting your home court. The Bucks did all they could do. That's why I'm just not too upset about this one. Reggae fan also says you guys might get belt to ass in Indy. We got belt to ass tonight. Again, I'm thinking if Giannis is going to be there, hopefully that doesn't happen. TV Fanatic says now they're going to try and rush Giannis back for game 3. He should sit. We're not winning nothing anyway. So that's a trash mentality. Bolton 77 says couldn't get no stops. No stops. Dame did what he had to do. He did his part. And then let's see. We'll do a couple more here. John Hassel says just don't put Beasley in anymore. Just don't do it. And Beasley was not good. I'll give it to you. And then Sierra Carroll says Dame drops 34 in efficient shooting and is a minus 24, but he played great. Putting this team on his back. Y'all are delusional and don't look at the game. Sierra Carroll, did you listen to what we said? We said he played well. What are you talking about? What do you mean? What is he saying? 34 in efficient shooting, but he played. What? I'm confused. What are you even talking about? Didn't we? Is he saying that we dissed Dame at some point here? Is that? Am I reading that?
Well, he said he played great.
Or he's saying that we're giving him credit for no reason, which I don't know how you watched the game.
Yeah, no. What are you talking? Yeah,
watched the game, and he was the only guy who could make a damn shot. So that's what it is.
It's one of them comments that you make people.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You got to explain yourself because either way, you're wrong. Either right. One of those, you're wrong.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, and then I think so. Josh Davis says, "Hell no, series not over. We just have to win one in Indy and bring it back here." That's where I am. You win. Yeah, you win. You got to go get one in Indy. And I'll say this: I think you can get one whether you have Giannis or not. I really do think you can get one. I don't think the Pacers are just like flat out better than the Bucks without Giannis. I mean, in a sense that they would like sweep the Bucks or gentlemen. I don't think they're that good. I think it'd be a tough series to win either way, but. You know, I think that's where all eyes are is what is the health, what is the status of Giannis Antetokounmpo?
Well, yeah, but if they play at that pace, right? And we can't keep up with them. If the game goes at the pace the Pacers want, I don't think we can keep up without Giannis, right? I just think that there's an issue, and I think that it's a little bit like it's like track and field, right? You run a 4x100 meter relay. If you got one of your key legs down, you only got but so much foot speed without it, right? And if you're in that race and you have that, you got to be at full strength to be able to maintain that pace. Now, I do think with Giannis we can possibly control the pace. I think it'd be a little bit easier to do that too, but. Yeah, I just think that's just kind of what it is. Listen, we can't play at this pace. We're too old and too slow without him to try to do that. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is a possibility even without Giannis that you can get one in there. But if we're talking about getting Giannis back game 3 and he's half of what he brings you, I think you get 2. I think you get 2 in Indiana because look, this Pascal stuff is not going to happen with Giannis out there, and our guards have done a great job on their guards. They've outplayed them in both games, I believe. I'll just say Dame and Pat Bev over TJ and Halliburton. They've done a good job on what you probably went into the series focusing on, but you didn't expect Pascal Siakam to be playing like a number 1 option, and it's a quick fix if you have Giannis. So I think, man, if you get him back, I mean, we'll talk about it more, but go ahead.
Yeah, you just need Giannis back, and I think that's the whole thing of you talked about it. Pascal Siakam, you can't stop Pascal Siakam. He is not he's just not this guy, dog. Like I don't care what anybody says, he is not that guy. Chris, you made a great point. I think the Bucks did do a good job on the guards. It's the bigs that are killing you, and again, it's Bobby Portis, it's Brook Lopez defensively. It's things we talked about it's things we talked about all year long, right? And I know Bobby's the great. Bobby did it. And again, I'm not hating on Bobby Portis. I'm not hating on Bobby Portis at all. I'm just saying there are going to be times where he did it on offense too. Like, that's the thing. For Bobby Portis to be a net positive, for the most part, he's got to ball offensively, and then you just got to kind of live with whatever he does defensively. When he is playing, and again, it's not about missing shots, it's about taking dumb shots. It's about killing momentum. Those are the things that Bobby Portis did tonight, and he did not help the Bucks. Like, he just did not help. And it was one of those moments where you had to take him out and figure out things to do. I almost saw myself like, damn, who can the Bucks call on? Who can they put in? And it was like, and if you're Doc Rivers, like, you're struggling because you got this. You can't even think about this dude. Like, if I'm looking down the bench and I'm like, damn, I don't got no bigs I could put in, right? And I'm looking, I'm like, man, maybe I'll think about doing the unthinkable. And I look and I say, damn, could I maybe put in Danilo Gallinari? And I sit there and see that fool got a damn mohawk on his head. And I say, hell no.
Was he 37?
You are 40 years old with a mohawk. I ain't putting your ass in the game. What are you? Come on, man. I can't even think about like that's just, God, come on, man. So I'm just saying, but things. No, I'm joking, not really. But it's just one of those things where Doc Rivers is if your biggest problem tonight. And I know a lot of people got upset at Doc Rivers and didn't like some of the things he did. But if some of your biggest problems is Doc Rivers tonight, he is very limited. He is extremely limited and I think that's where he lost the game, was in the paint. I understand there were some open shots, but he's limited when Giannis is down. That's all he has to go to is Bobby or Brook, or you're playing small. And I find myself giving Doc Rivers some cutting him some slack. Now, where I don't cut him some slack is on these ATOs. You can't even get the ball up. This is just kind of stupid stuff right here. You damn near get an 8-second violation. You call a timeout. And we talked about ATOs all year. And we saw a turnover out of an ATO. We saw an 8, and then we see another ATO at the end of I think it was the fourth quarter, right? You almost can't get up floor in 8 seconds. You call a timeout, and then you're still in the backcourt, and you get a 5-second violation after that. Like, how does that? How? What were you doing in the huddle? Hey, come on, guys! We gotta play hard. We gotta play hard, guys. Come on, draw something up. That's all I'm saying.
Wasn't there? And wasn't like after that sequence, didn't the ball go off Chris's foot, or didn't something strange also happen right after that sequence too? Maybe that was right after that too. But yeah, I don't know. But you've been saying this all year that.
Yeah. ATOs are bad. The ATOs are bad. And the funny thing is, I see him, and then I have people in the comments saying, well, though the players have to execute. Like, okay, but if it's almost every ATO is a turnover, bad shot, somebody just creating it. No, there's something going on coaching wise, because I have not seen the Bucks this bad after timeouts until Doc Rivers got here.
Well, if the guru has to bring out the horse Doc Rivers impression, then you're doing something wrong. So I just leave it at that. The way, like that 5-second call was terrible. They might have pulled the trigger a little quick, but you're not getting that benefit of the doubt if Chris is over here pump faking with the ball in one hand, trying to throw it across the timeline when he's in the backcourt. It was ugly, and it was stuff like that just encapsulated the whole night. And I guess you chalk this one up to, hey, we definitely didn't. We fed into their game plan. We couldn't execute, and let's go get some in Indy.
Yeah, I will say though. Go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. After you.
No. Go.
I certainly. I don't want to say this is a referendum on Doc from a personnel perspective, but I will say that we have talked about this before. When you look at Marjan, you look at Ajax, you look at all these guys who didn't get what we would say adequate reps under Doc during the regular season. Look, we're going to get away with it now, but that may be something that really does truly bite us in the ass, right? In the sense of you have these guys, you have these young, talented guys with varying skill sets, but you didn't give them reps here, and now you want to put them in high pressure situations and expect them to perform, which is fine, maybe not reasonable, but I do think that is going to be problematic for this team at some point, especially because they're the youth, man. Fresher legs. It is what it is, right? I think that it would be nice if you could do that, and I think that would open up some things as well from a personnel perspective. But we got to live with it, right? We roll with who we roll with during the regular season, and right now, I mean, isn't the time to get someone experience.
Like you said, you roll with my coach used to say back in the day. You gotta go what you got. Coach Aiken, I gotta go what you got.
Right. The problem though with Coach Aiken though is that you put yourself in this situation because you got 9 horses, but you chose only to play 6, and now you're like, damn, we need to see we can't. Right now we can't. Right. Everybody butts get tight when it's time to try to take it. When it's time to try to take advantage, you go and like you said, you're looking down that bench. You're like, man, can I throw? I don't know. Right. Kind of. And right, and it's a whole lot of him and haw and shifting in your chair from side to side when you sit here trying to think about, hey, let's get this man some. I mean, you can't because you haven't given him any burn during the regular season. And again, if I can't trust you when it doesn't matter, I definitely can't trust you when it does.
I guess I'd rather their butts get tight versus them getting loose. He missed.
That's crazy.
Damn it, Trey.
You can tell this loss didn't affect us that much because this is what we're over here talking about butts.
I'm not. Hey, listen, I'm telling you, I was okay with the split. I'm telling you, I was okay with the split.
Yeah, right. I was talking about loose booties. Okay, now you're all right.
Now you're okay with the split. Let's go to the. Let's see what they're talking about on the Twitter. Again, the chat is sponsored by Autograph. Go to the Autograph app and use our code Cream City Crossover. Get all your Bucks information. Also, the likes in the chat. I don't know what's going on. Hey, we love the likes. Please like what you got going in the chat. Give us some likes in there. Show some love to the Cream City Crossover. Because we appreciate you guys. At He Manson says Pat Bev sucked, Pat C sucked, Portis sucked, Beasley was unplayable, AJ Green was basically a non-factor. Crowder looks like the worst player in the playoffs of any team. Doc just let the Pacers shoot open threes all game, just like Bud used to do. That's a lot of suck for one team. That's a lot of suck for one team in one game. Very disappointing. Hey, yo, Seth, calm down. At the hottest take, Jake says lots of Bucks fans pumping their chest, saying just wait till Giannis gets back. Imagine if Giannis comes back for Game 3 and they still lose. Long story short, I'll be cliche and say Game 3 winner wins the series. I don't disagree with that. That could and that typically happens a lot of times. Game 3 winner does win the series a lot of times. At DTP Virgo says, what the F is up with bees? At Drew Behringer says Pascal Siakam is this year's Jimmy Butler. Much like the regular season, this Bucks team has zero consistency. Our guy Justin from NC says just dumb, really dumb, horrible execution. Hope this isn't the nail for the Bucks. I don't think it's the nail for the Bucks. Our guy Abu Drame Diomande says transition defense has to be better. Dame showed out again. We need Bobby to stop our momentum. We need Bobby to stop our momentum every single. He's just saying we need to have Bobby not stop our momentum every single time we're on the run. The role players have to make shots. Game 3 will be the Giannis comeback game. Couple more here. At Rickatan says fans wearing shirts don't equal effort from the players. Fans, if you're going to chant Bobby for anything, it better be followed by get to work. I have yet to see hard, purposeful fouls from this team. Bench feels like front runners with their energy. We fear this deer. And then Carl Phenom says complete blowout, took a Superman Dame to keep it under 40. And I will do one more here. At Eagle Rugby 58 says my hot take with Doc in his lineups. He values experience over effort. Crowder has experience, but is awful. AJ has the effort, but not experience. Ajax has the effort, but not experience. It's time to let the effort players get some run. At this point, it can't hurt. I guess my thing is some people are talking as if like the series is over, and I'm not like there. Like I'm not like it can't hurt at this point. It's 1-1. Like what do you mean? Like you're not gonna go 3-1, and we just trying to throw stuff at the wall. Like it's not over. It's 1-1. You're tied. This is a best of 5 series right now. Let's go. Hey, pick it up, fellas. It's 1-1. Like this ain't done. Ain't nothing done about this.
Not at all. And remember, you're missing your guy that's gonna put up.
Right.
Listen, whatever FanDuel got for the over, take it when Giannis plays. Whatever they got, whatever DraftKings or FanDuel got for the over in points, take it because Giannis is it's highly likely that Giannis is gonna put up 40 plus against this Pacers team. There's no question about it, based off of what we've previously seen.
And that's gonna be something to see Dame at his best, Giannis coming back at his best.
Mm-hmm.
Like, boy, if we get 40 and 30 from either of those two in the same game, look out. No matter what, no matter how many threes they're hitting, no matter if they're running up and down. Look, I know the best transition player in the NBA, by the way, is Giannis Antetokounmpo. So there you have it. I mean, I can't wait to see that. I hope he gets back healthy, and I hope we get him because we need him. We need him.
Todd Merrill says, good point from Todd. He says Siakam has outscored Dame in the series as good as Dame has been. That is true. But I almost attest that to how bad the Bucks defense has been versus this comparison between Siakam and Dame. I'm telling for all the Dame people that have been on my case all year, I have nothing but kind things and good words to say about Damian Lillard this series. Like not that I didn't expect it from Dame, but this is what I wanted to see. And again, if you give me what I want to see, I say it all the time. Because I have people saying, "Oh, you can't praise him now." I praise good play. I downplay bad play. If you don't play well, I'll tell you didn't play well. If you play good, you're not gonna hear anything bad from me. Like I'm okay. Let's get to our next topic here, which is I'm having a look here. Does Giannis have to? Okay, does Giannis have to play Game 3? Have to play Game 3. I'll say. Let me say this. If you've been watching that Philly series, right? Like Joel Embiid, have you seen that Joel Embiid it can't blink his left eye? Have you seen that? Like that's a thing.
They got the cortisone shots in him.
Well, that's the thought is and it's very clear that Embiid is at best he's 60%. Like at best he's 60%. And by the way, at 60%, Embiid is cooking. He is cooking. But he doesn't have the physicality. But we'll talk about the Philly series at the end of the show. But what I'm saying to this is if Embiid can get on the floor with the injury history that he has and play 60%, and I mean I don't know if this is true or whatnot, but again, and it seems like I don't know if they've numbed the left side of his body so that he can't feel what's going on in that leg, and that's why he out here like this all night. Giannis, if you can play, I said 90%. If you're 80, 85%, you got to go. You got to go.
So wait.
Legacies are on the line here. Legacies are on the line.
Because I'm gonna push back against.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I would argue that Giannis doesn't have to play Game 3, but he has to play Game 3 or 4, right? So if he's not ready on Friday, if he's not ready on Friday, then he's got to play the next game after that. That's the way I see it, right? Giannis has to play one of these next two games.
What do you mean by not ready? What does not ready mean?
If he's not ready enough to clear him, if they still think there's a significant risk of a further injury, that's what I would say is not ready. If they think by throwing him out there, he's going to make this thing worse, and they think that they think that there's an injury that could either be career threatening, season threatening. If they throw him out there and they're like, listen, if one of these 3-4 things happens, you're probably in a situation where Giannis may be out the rest of the series, right?
But what if? Okay, but what if they? Because okay, let's do it like this. They said it was a 2 to 4 week injury, right? Mm-hmm. We, I believe, are just hitting 2 weeks right around now. He should be at least over the two week barrier at this point.
Right, what if they say, hey, case scenario?
What if they're saying, hey, and again, you can't guarantee anything, but what if the mindset here, the talking point is, we can't say that you're 100% until week 4, which means you basically gonna miss the. So if that's the case, if that's the scenario you're talking about, JT, he's gonna miss the entire series. Because you said further injury. What if they say we can't guarantee further injury until you have fully cleared this week 4 and beyond? So that's my question is, what is the difference between Game 3 and Game 4? Do you bring it if it's 80, 85%? And I guess that's where I'm going with it. And again, we don't know. But when I'm hearing have to play, my thing is, can you get out there? There is going to be some risk. Like there's always risk when you shoot. Like I don't think Chris isn't 100%. Like there's no way Chris is 100% right now. There is risk. That's like Chris looks like he has a bad wheel. Looks like that leg is a little fragile. I guess that's my thing is like what do you value when you talk about long term? Again, I don't want to do anything. If you're telling me that there's like a 70% chance you're gonna go out there and tear Achilles, no, of course not. I'm not saying you go out there. But what I'm saying is if you can go out there and it's like, hey, is there an elevated risk for injury? Absolutely. But It's up to you. Can you? Do you have the paint towels? Can you go out there with the paint towels and play? And if you're saying yes, great, let's do it. That's to me the question. Now, yeah, I'm with you, JT. If there's like a real significant factor or thought process that he may be injured or injure himself further, I'm with you. But if it's just, hey, yeah, sure, it's elevated, but it's up to you. Do you want to go? Like if you're telling me like you can't be fully cleared until the full 4 weeks, you're just making a decision on whether you want to be there for your team in his first series or whether you're willing to wait until next year potentially to play. Because again, if you're down 2-1, we saw this in Miami last year. Can you take these games for granted?
But season's not on the line down 2-1. That's the thing too, though. The season is not on the line down. I mean, yeah. So let me clarify here. The season's not on the line on Friday. If you go down 2-1, if you lose on Friday, okay, right? I just think he has to play one of the. I would say if he's not ready, then Sunday, fine. That's damn near a week. What's that? 5 days from today. I mean, you talk about 2 weeks. You said it's 2 to 4 week time period. Well, I mean, you don't know if it's going to be 2 weeks or it's going to be 4 weeks, but I certainly would feel a lot better if you at least get closer to 3, right? That's splitting the difference here in the middle there. I wouldn't just want to rush him in and say, oh, okay, 2 weeks. Yeah. If he's not, I mean, because again, what is the overall goal? The goal is for the team to win a championship. Obviously, you can't win a championship if you can't get out the first round. I get that. But I still think that if Giannis can't go on Friday and you know that, then Doc, earn your damn paycheck. Everybody earn your damn paycheck, just like you get in game 1. Clock the F in and let's get busy here. Like, what are we doing? Like, I just don't feel like you have to rush this man back and risk further injury and possibly derailing this team's ceiling in the playoffs here because we panicked because the series was 1-1.
Nah, you got to play him. Look, go on the therapy table and get those big-ass boots on that I don't even know what they do. Wrap that calf up. And like Trey said, legacies are on the line. We cannot have a repeat of last year. We can't go down 2-1 because we got complacent with Giannis out. This is a different team, but it's also one that we can't risk going down 2-1. And for me, I also think that having Giannis back would just be so much better for Chris as well because it's not forcing him to do too much. Tonight on the play he got hurt, he was trying to, save somebody from, a trap or something, and then Pascal just hits him and he falls awkwardly. And that's stuff that Chris doesn't have to do if Giannis is in the game because he's another ball handler. And so I just think that it would benefit them tremendously for him to, I'm not gonna say rush it back, but just get back and get playing. You got a couple days now. Let's go. What was the timeline? 17 days. Getting close to it, or you're already there.
I mean, yeah, but like guys, like you can't be. Let's just back up here now. Now, none of us are doctors, right? Like,
right.
Trey, you and I are lawyers, so we're not actually doctors. And there's some people who think they're really special that are lawyers that want to be called doctor, which we look at them like they're clowns. Because come on, man, I ain't no damn doctor, right? But the reality of it is, though, is that I do think that you have to look at. I get the long-term health factor, but I'm just look at the playoff series. Look at this guy. You can't. If he's not ready and the doctors say realistically he needs 2-3 more days, throw him out there. I just don't think that's a smart game plan at that point. I think it's like, listen, let me go with the guys I've got. Let me trust Doc. Let me trust these guys and see if they can get a win here on Friday. And then you definitely know you get them back on Sunday.
You can't trust them because they do some crap like they did tonight, and nobody else can score outside of Dame and Brooke and Chris occasionally. Then what? then you're screwed. Now it's 2-1, and then you got to throw Giannis out there with those same guys who could potentially put up another stinker. I can't.
Jamar Kenner says that's silly. If Giannis aggravates injury and is out for the season, the whole franchise in jeopardy. Karan, this is what I'm telling you. If the Bucks lose this series, the franchise. When you say franchise is in jeopardy, if the Bucks lose this series, people are leaving. Like people are getting fired. People have been getting fired. People are gone. Like I'm telling, like jobs will be lost. Like if the Bucks lose the series, it's getting blown up anyway. Like the only people that will survive this, and the more we've seen Dame, Dame. I think now there was some questions about what Dame will. So it's going to be Dame and Giannis, and we'll see who else survives whatever the hell they do blowing up this team. That's what I'm telling you. I'm just telling the team is going to be blown up. That's what I'm saying. And you're going to have all offseason to rest and talk about it anyway. That's what you're going to have.
And here's my point, though. You're not at that point where everything sinks, right, on Friday. You're not there. It's not that this Friday's not your do or die game. Listen, if you lose on Friday, you go down, and Giannis comes back Sunday. I still think we're okay. Like, we're going to be okay. I don't think Friday's a do or die game.
I'm telling you, I saw this last year against Miami, and that was the thought process. And you cannot, in the playoffs, to me, you just cannot take games for granted. You just cannot say, hey, today's not a do or die. If the mindset to me is not that every single game is do or die, you are doing this wrong. Every single game is a must-win game in the playoffs, point blank, period, to me. And that's what I'm saying. Again, I'm agreeing with you. If the doctors say he can't go and that's it, I'm cool with that. But if it's precautionary, you can't go. If it's he can't go, we just would like to hold him out for a couple. No, then you gotta go. That's what I'm saying. And I don't know what it is, because like you said, we're not doctors. But if the doctors are saying,
what is your plan if he aggravates it further? What is your plan if he
aggravates
the injury further, and they're like, listen, he really needs a couple more days for us to be in the clear here.
Then it's the same place we're at if we lost the series.
And if it's a significant risk, if they say Friday, listen, there's a significant risk if he plays. If he wants to, it's totally up to him. You're telling me that if you're Doc, you're going to say, all right, yeah, Giannis, go out there and play, because we can't afford to lose this game, even though Sunday will have us in the clear. We'll have you back. I just think, like,
Doc's not gonna have to say. Well, again, you're probably gonna lose your job if you lose the series. That's what I'm telling you.
No.
There will be people who lose their job if they lose the series.
Well, so what I'm sure, but what I'm saying is that point Friday. We're talking in circles, but is that point Friday?
Yeah, we're talking. But yes, I think it is.
I guess.
I think it is. Like what you said, the winner of game 3, I believe, wins like 85% of the series. Yes, game 3 is extremely important.
Well, I don't give a damn about statistics, because
then it becomes that game 4 is an absolute must win, and now that's gonna be Giannis' first game back in a game 4, and now he's gonna be winded. Now, I'm not saying without reason, but if he can play, he's gonna have to play. There's no. And Todd Merrill says 2 days is going to make it.
You know what, though? I'm going to tell you something, Todd. So, to be honest, though, from the treatment and everything else you can do, there may actually make a difference there with recovery, a couple of days, right? Listen, like, from all the different things that trainer, and I have no idea what the details are doing to try to get him ready, but two days of rest and recovery with technology and everything, it may make a difference.
Here's the other thing that's going to suck. Is and K&A family says simple. We win game 3. GA doesn't return to game 4. Doesn't return game 4. We lose game 3. He must play game 4. You know how much pressure you're gonna put on Giannis in a game if you. There is.
Because here's the thing. Pay you the big bucks, bro. I'm not worried.
Well,
about,
yeah.
What the hell am I worried about pressure for? Like, come on, bro. Like,
right. Here? Well, what I'm saying is, what you saw this happen at Miami, and they basically everybody blamed Giannis down 2-1. And Giannis was a big part of the blame, and he'll be a big part of the blame anyway. But I think you just have more of an opportunity to control everything that happens. I think you want more opportunities than less, because that's the thing. If you come back 2-1 and you're just getting your legs and you go down 3-1, series is over. You lost the series. Like basically, here's what you're saying. Here, if Giannis doesn't come back to game 4, what you're essentially saying is you win this game or you lose the series. You're right. You can come back from down 2-1. But I'd much rather Giannis have a feel for the game, feel for the series, what's going on. Okay, I've seen how Pascal Siakam is playing. And if you lose game 3 with Giannis, okay, that's cool. Now Giannis is better. He's more well-equipped for the series. And you come at game 4 try to win game 4. You come at game 4, that's your first time in playoff action, first time you played in 20 days. That is a tall task telling you, hey, not just like you talked about, must win. Like, it is an absolute must win. Like, basically, you will lose. If you come back and lose this game, you've lost the series. That's what you're telling Giannis has got to come back to. I'm just saying, if he can come back before that, you come back and try to win it. So you're right, but we're talking in circles. Who knows what the health status is going to be like? I don't know. You don't know. We don't know. I'm hoping against. So I just think if he could play, he's got to play. That's where I stand with.
But I guess like, and this goes to a bigger conversation on Bucks Twitter, and I'm sure the chat. Let me dig into it, right, and look through it. But then it's more of a mentality, right? Are we sounding alarm bells here because we're at 1-1, right? Like, what's your thought process at being 1-1 or effectively, technically, 0-0 at this point? What's your thought process at that? Because there's a segment of Bucks Twitter that are just like, yo, not the end of the world. We're good. Let's make sure our guys straight so that we can close this thing out, go on a run here, dominate this team, and put it to bed. And then there's another segment of Bucks Twitter who's got trauma from the Miami series, and they're like, "Oh my God, dude, this is Miami all over again. The sky's falling. It's 1-1. If he doesn't play the next game and we go down 2-1, everything is over. We're done. We're going to be cooked. This team is over." So it really just depends on what camp you fall into. I'll tell you right now, I emphatically think we're going to be okay if we go down 2-1 and Giannis returns the next game. We're going to be all right. Now, I'm guessing you don't feel that way.
Well, I'll tell you how I feel in a second, but the chat is asking for more Chris, so let's give the people what they want. Chris, get in here and tell us, give us some thoughts on this conversation discussing here.
No, it's a good debate, and that's why I just took a step back because I'm letting you guys go at it because you guys are like basically first take here. No, look, I just think with what you've been seeing from Pascal Siakam, I just don't think that there's any way that, I mean, obviously, unless the doctors, like you said, Trey, rule him out and that he can't go. You need him in this series. You need him to really will this team. I mean, you saw the Pacers kind of getting in our heads a little bit with the chippiness, with the scrappiness. The perfect guy you have is on the bench for the Bucks right now, catering towards that calf, and he can go in and dominate them and just shut them up. And that's why I want to see Giannis back in Game 3. I think he can really grip the series and just captivate what can start a really good run for the Bucks. It's really not that bad, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like he can just the willpower alone of Giannis can take the series by the neck, by the throat, and
hey yo,
Gorilla grip the series. What's going on?
I'm just saying, but in all seriousness, I think that it's just like this is before Jokic did his thing with the championship, this is the best player in the world to me. And so, you can shut all that noise up by just putting him out there. No matter what, he could be 85%, it don't matter. He can still give you 25, 10, and 12, whatever it might be, a triple-double. The guy's awesome, and I want him back.
And Al-Farouq Amino makes a good point too, and because that's the thing on Giannis is when he comes back, maybe he's rusty, maybe he has some injuries, but he can come back and really focus defensively, rebounding, and those things. Like, I don't need you giving the ball and everybody get out the way, you charge into the basket and trying to dunk over everybody. Like, Damian Lillard has shown that he can take over, and again, so maybe everything primary is Dame, and then Giannis, you get in where you fit in. And you just rebound and score the ball. And, hey, your primary job tonight is to slow down Pascal Siakam. We'll ease you back into this thing. And then, Game 4, maybe you're feeling even better. And we incorporate you more and more into the offense and whatnot. But, again, the Bucks have to – because that's my thing when you talk about John saying that, you feel very good about this team. I could almost get there with you. But I don't see a way they stop Pascal Siakam. Not with Bobby Portis and Brook Lopez. I don't know how you do it unless you have Giannis in the lineup.
They tried everything. Like you saw it tonight. True. Without, like you said, Mohawk Gallinari, like that wasn't going to do anything. You weren't going to throw Thanasis out there. You weren't going to throw any of the young guys. Like they tried everything. It's not working. Pascal looks good, and he's stepping up in the absence of Tyrese Halliburton. And the only option is GA. So,
yeah. Okay. Well, and Corinne J. McKenna says they didn't double. I think that's the next thing is do you send a double? When do you start to do it? Doc didn't do it at all. Again, that's something that you can think about. They didn't think about it, and there's John doing his dishes, getting everything done. Karan says we didn't try everything. And Todd says Embiid can't even jump, and he had 2 great games. I mean, like I said, I do think when we talk about guys getting hurt, I think this longer this series goes on, like I think Embiid, I don't wish it on him. You could just see the injury. It's like waiting, like it is waiting to happen. Like this major injury to Embiid is like it's almost like his legs are begging him to be injured. Again, I don't want that. I don't want to see it at all. But he is hanging on by a thread.
Okay,
Out there
let me interject here too, because when they say like, all right, maybe double Pascal Siakam, are we just gonna give them more open threes? Like, this is a team that can knock down shots now. Like this, they did it tonight even without the double. So I don't get it.
Well, they did it tonight,
And
but
you
they
can't
didn't
rely
do
on
it
the
in
Bucks
game one.
to rotate properly. Like, we've
That's
seen
true.
this
That's
the
true.
whole season. They do not know how to communicate on defense. They don't play any defense. So, I can't. I don't know about doubling.
Yeah, but I do think you have to try it again. I don't know if it'll take a couple possessions. I don't know what happens, but I do think you have to at least go to it and give it a shot. Iron Man says no Livingston, no HHA. We haven't tried. Livingston's not playing. Like come on, it's just not gonna happen. Let's so I don't know. So the Bucks, they do lose it tonight. Again, I'm not overly concerned unless you tell me Giannis isn't playing game 3, and then that's when I will. I'm telling you, I haven't been nervous about any games this series. I would maybe say I was a little anxious game 1 going into it. Seeing I felt really confident and good tonight. Bucks lose, I still feel okay. I feel like I'll feel some nerves sink in if you're telling me no Giannis game 3. I think I'll be a little bit on edge because that again. I mean, you're looking at a potential. Again, it's 1-1, but you're looking at a potential 2 years in a row being one of the best teams in the NBA, supposedly one of the best teams in the NBA, and get knocked out in the first round. I get it. Giannis has been injured, but it's gonna be a real bad look. It's gonna be a very, very, very bad look. And you're not gonna be able to get to the podium and tell us that for failures or steps to success or whatever the hell Giannis said last year.
What I will say though is I do think you do get some flexibility though. If you win on Friday without Giannis, you give yourself a little bit of flexibility there. If he's not ready.
No, you bring him back in game 4. If you in game 3, as soon as you tell me he's ready, you play him. You don't let this thing get tied up 2-2.
As soon as he's clear,
and bring him back. As soon as he's as soon as he's ready to go, you let him play. To me, that's how I feel about it.
Well, look, is he ready? I mean, are you
I don't know.
Are you hearing? I mean, because Doc's kind of vague when he talks about how Giannis looks right now. I mean, have you read anything credible that said he's ready or should be ready Friday? I haven't seen that.
We might have to go to our sources, nope. Trey.
Yeah, we are gonna hit your boy up.
No, I haven't seen it. Tyrese Halliburton apparently says his little brother was called the N-word by a Bucks fan in game 1, apparently. And then Tyrese Halliburton apparently said we've had regular season crowds better than what we've played in the last 2 games. So Tyrese talking a lot of trash about the Bucks fans and what they're doing. Again, Tyrese, it's so funny, and somebody mentioned on Twitter, is an absolute front runner, man. Like I get so, like that's the other reason why I want Giannis to come back in the series. Like I feel like I shouldn't dislike him. I feel like I shouldn't, but I just do. I don't like the dude, man. Like he's just talking too much. I probably would if he'd done something. You haven't done anything yet. Like you've won one playoff game, and it's not even like you ain't really been balling. Like you really ain't even been balling like that, dog. To be talking the way you are. So I mean, something about him rubs me the wrong way. Just rubs me the wrong way.
Of course, and he has some audacity to try to insinuate that Milwaukee got racist folks. If you're trying to say that, and you in Indiana, I mean, that's kind of like you do your Googles, you look up your research. There's a whole lot of stuff that got cracking and got started in Indiana when it comes to that. Just got to be honest here about that. But yeah, I agree with you. Go ahead, Chris.
This is a guy who's from Wisconsin too, so
he's from Eau Claire. The haircut reflects
Oshkosh.
Yeah.
Oh, from Oshkosh. They're even worse. Right.
So
even worse.
I think he puts on this false persona ever since they signed James Johnson, because you hear about him being able to fight and some MMA stuff that he's done. But I think that's the case with the whole Pacers team. I think that they are a bunch of fake tough guys too. And I would really like to beat them in this series, and then hopefully we go play the Knicks too. That would be dope. But let's worry about this series. But yeah, they're fake tough guys too. I don't like it.
Yeah, one game at a time. We'll see how this thing keeps rolling with the Bucks. They lose at 125-108 tonight to the Pacers. Series is tied at 1 apiece. Let's do game balls. who's getting your game ball tonight?
Dame. I am 100% giving this thing to Dame. I love the energy that we're seeing that we've seen from Dame. He's 2 games in a row. He's coming out firing. Dame gets my game ball.
I think there's multiple ways you can go with this. So
So you gonna do the splits?
Hey, yo.
So I think I might as well take this opportunity while I can, because I don't know how many minutes he's going to get the rest of the series, or if they're going to even win another game in the series. I hope the Bucks win at 4-1. I'm gonna give it to my boy Obi Toppin. Look, he shot.
Come on.
He shot.
Mute
Okay,
his mic.
like, come on now.
Mute
He
his
out
mic.
rebounded Brook Lopez by 7. That's a problem. He came in, gave them a spark, allowed them to take the lead in the first quarter, scored the ball at a high level, like 3 quick layups, and he's a high flyer out there. I think he did a good job, and he didn't play in game 1, barely. He played like 4 minutes. They bring him and they win a game. They win a game because they gave him some minutes. So yeah, shout out Obi and Carlisle.
How far down the list of eligible candidates did you have to go to get Obi? You reached deep in the bag.
I told you I'm going to take the opportunity while I might not have it.
You was deep in the box score to get to this thing to Obi Toppin.
Yeah. Chris just wasted a game ball there.
So
I'm
JT
gonna pass.
giving it to Dame. We lost.
Yeah,
by
well,
30.
JT does it every time they lose. I'm gonna give it to Pascal. I'll be the one who gives an official game ball tonight to somebody who actually deserves it. 37, 11, and 6 from Pascal Siakam. He absolutely torched the Bucks defense all night long. 16 and 20. Man, shoot, those are like Giannis numbers. 37, 11, and 6. He shot 70% from the field, 3 or 4 from 3. I mean, Pascal Siakam was really, really good tonight, and the Bucks gonna have to find a way to neutralize him. Hopefully with Giannis, but if not, you got to do something. Like you got to get the ball out of his hands. Like I said, if that comes with double teams or whatever, you got to be able to do that and find a way to handle that and get that figured out. So that's where the game balls are going to go. Let's do a look around the NBA tonight. And again, so far the Bucks are the only. This is why it's so disappointing. Bucks are the only team so far in these playoffs to lose a home game. Every other series right now is 2-0 outside of the Bucks. So Minnesota won tonight, 105-93. Clippers Mavericks 66-65. The Clippers are up in the third quarter right now, into the third, and then the Bucks losing 125-108. Want to go back to last night. The 2 games we saw last night were just, I mean, you can't, if you're a fan of the NBA, like, you can't draw up better scripts than what happened last night. I want to. Did you see the ending sequence in Philadelphia? The no calls. Were you a fan of that? Not a fan of it. How that went down. The Knicks take a 2-0 lead. I do think the Philadelphia 76ers are going to bounce back at home and win Game 3. But how'd you feel about that? And then out in Denver, I meid those Denver Nuggets look very good. And you saw Jamal Murray have a rough game into that fourth quarter, and he sent AD into the bleachers when he hit that game-winning jump shot at the corner there. It was good stuff. And Denver takes a 2-0 lead.
I mean, I think Maxey did get fouled. That was a little rough, but you know what? It's the playoffs, man. Let the guys play. And as long as, call it, don't call it, as long as you're consistent, I mean, what's the complaint?
They had a timeout. Nick Nurse, hey, Adrian Griffin ain't walking through that door, big dog. You gotta take that timeout and regroup. Make sure you can actually get the ball in, because a 3 like that with Jalen Brunson hits it in the corner and it just bounces in. It's so lucky. It just gives them this crazy sense of confidence, and then they press up, they get a turnover, and that was all she wrote. That is a choke job. That is a game you cannot let slip away. Being up 5, like, I wonder what the win probability was on that when they were up 5.
Yeah.
Because it had to have been crazy. You've got to use a timeout in that situation. At least make sure you get the ball in, because ultimately, I mean, what was the differential between the shot clock and game? 2 seconds maybe? They probably would have fouled you. If you got it across the timeline and at least got it in. So I think that was just a horrendous choke. And now I start to look at New York as the winner of that series when it very well could have went the opposite way if you at least send it back 1-1. And then Denver, man, Jamal Murray is just he's really damn good in the clutch. I know he didn't have a great game up until that last quarter, fourth quarter I think it was, but man, he's a really good player. I love watching him, and Jokic and they do what they do with Michael Porter Jr. as well, but they've got to control their siblings. That's what they've got to do, both of those guys, Michael Porter Jr. and Nikola Jokic, because they're out there wilding.
And let me ask y'all a question. Speaking of Michael Porter Jr., y'all seen that podcast with Landon Rhodes? Some of the stuff they talking about?
Yes,
No,
I did.
I
saw a clip. I saw a clip of it.
Yeah, MPJ wilding, man. They wilding. But yeah, no, I agree with you. And one thing I'll say too is, I know we gave playoff Jimmy, some love last year, but Jamal Murray seems to have another gear in the playoffs too. And you saw that last year, and you kind of are seeing that this year too.
He's just so crafty. Like, it's a work of art watching him play. He's just so skilled. And so, when you have a guard like that, and finally we get to see us reap the benefits of having a guard like that, because we really haven't gotten that from point guards in I don't know how many years it's been. So having a point guard like a Dame, like a Jamal Murray is always good. And it's pretty much a formula if you have another superstar on your team to winning games in the playoffs.
Yeah, going back to that Philly game, on the officiating, I like letting them play. How about Max gave a two full arm extension push to Josh Hart as that thing went on. How about Dante DiVincenzo with a clutch shot, missing the shot and then taking a second? But again, I was just complaining about the officiating. Why don't you grab a rebound? How about that? How about you grab a rebound on the Dante miss and get that thing going instead of allowing another 3-point shot to go up? So I think you're right. I had New York in 7. Again, I do think that that was going to go down to the wire. But again, everybody's playing well, playing fun. It's fun basketball, really fun basketball from all those teams. And again, I think the Lakers. I do think the Lakers. I don't think they're going to sweep like they did last year. But again, Joker's damn good. Jamal Murray's damn good, and you want to see. I don't know, man. You just want to see the Bucks, look like some of these top teams that just—I don't want to say they don't have problems, but it's like some of these top teams. You look at the Denver Nuggets, and it's like they have that moxie, that resolve, and like you shouldn't have to. Like the Bucks, even in Game 1, it was all about Damian Lillard going for 35, and he beat early in the season. Again, we talked about so much early in the season in the clutch. The Bucks were so good in those moments, and again, it seems like if the Bucks don't have like all the momentum going their way, it just falls apart. And you have to find a way. Like the Knicks had everything going away from them, and then late in that game they figured out a way to get the dub. And so you want to see more of that from the Bucks, and we'll see what happens in Indiana. And yeah, somebody said that the Joker brothers need the law offices of Daly M. Johnson, and they absolutely do.
The better comments before that, Porter may need some Daly M. Johnson too.
Yeah,
both of his brothers.
Everybody, everybody does. Bucks losing tonight, fellas. 125-108. Any final words as this series is tied, headed back to Indiana?
Man, on to Friday. That's just kind of where we're at this point. I ain't been sweating the medical report, right? I haven't been sweating the medical update in a long time. But yeah, I'm watching this thing like a hawk because I'm curious as to what he can do at this point, if he's cleared, if there's even a chance that he's cleared, or what the expectation is. Hopefully, we probably won't know till Friday morning, but hopefully something comes out.
There is a chance because Giannis apparently has done some on-court activity, but it just I don't think it's just very clear as to like the extent of. I know somebody said he hadn't practiced. Again, he probably won't practice. I guess there's no way he's gonna do a full practice. I think it's one of those things where you give him on-court activity, see what it looks like, and then you put him out there for game time decision, see if he goes through a warm-up and see how he looks. So
yeah, for me, I'd just say I would like the role players or anybody not named Dame Lillard to step up, and we need to see that on Friday because tonight was a stinker from everybody else, and that's just disheartening to kind of ruin a great game like that. I mean, 2-game stretch Dame has had, and you only get out of Milwaukee with one. So, yeah, I'd like somebody to step up. I don't care who it is. I don't care if you got to bring GA back. So, looking forward to it. Looking forward to trying to get this 2-1 series lead, especially you'll have a lot of momentum going into Game 4 if you can get it. So, yeah, I'm excited for Friday. Not too high, not too low. Just want to see him go out there and play better than he did tonight.
Here was Bucks forward Bobby Portis asked about the physicality, trash talking, and technical fouls, whether he felt that was the Pacers' way of getting themselves going on the road. His response, quite frankly, they are front runners, bro. Y'all can just tweet that or whatever it is, bro. When the shit going good, they laugh and clap and all that. When it's going bad, they're not saying nothing. So I think that answers the question. Guys always feel good when they're having a good game and hitting shots. Everybody, I think that's just human nature in basketball. When you're making shots, you're feeling good. But when the tough going, you can't get nothing going. This kind of goes the other way. So, yeah, they're supposed to feel good. They were hitting shots. They game playing really well. So, yeah, they're supposed to feel really good. But Game 3 on the way Friday. So, as Bobby Portis calling them front runners, telling them they can talk about it. So that's interesting response from Bobby. And I don't disagree at all. I think they are front runners. I think again, Game 3 to me, like you said, JT, I'm with you. You know, you're looking at the injury report, seeing what it looks like. But here's the thing: if it comes back and Giannis doesn't play, you got to go find a way to win. Like Damian Lillard, and again, as good as he's been, and I think he's got to continue to be good. But you know, you got to dig down and find a way to make that 35, 36, 40, 45. You know, that's. And I hate that I have to say that, but you know, and I'm not saying that in a negative way, but like you got to go get a win for these guys. Like at the end of the day, like they're depending on you, they rely on you. Dame has done a lot, but I agree as well. The role players have to step up. And again, Bobby Portis, it's not about missing shots, but it's about making the right plays. And I think sometimes the Bucks got in their own way tonight and didn't make the right plays. And then I think you're right. I think Bobby Portis is right too. You know, it seemed like once the Pacers got going. They were able to feel themselves a little bit and got themselves some confidence to finish that thing off. So 125-108, the Bucks lose it tonight. Game 3 is on Friday. We have a Bucks in 60 tomorrow from 6 to 7 on 97.3 the game and 1070 the game in Madison. So check us out there, worldwide iHeartRadio. Want to thank our sponsors tonight, the Law Office of Daly M. Johnson. When you need defense, where?
Off the court.
Off the court. You call my guy, the Law Office of Daly M. Johnson. He will get you right. 608-893-8370.
7-0.
There you go. Want to thank Autograph, the app. Please check out the Autograph app. If you're a Bucks fan, you got to go to get the Autograph app. I know we put the link in the bio. Not in the bio. We put the link in the chat once. Go get the Autograph app. Everything you want to see about the Bucks. You're looking for, you want to see the latest up-to-date news, tweets, whatever, videos, podcasts. This episode will be there. Everything you need is on the app. And again, I buried the lead. You can get free merch, free gear, free things from the Autograph app. You have to go there. You have to use our link, use our code, Cream City Crossover. Cream City Crossover, no spaces. Go to the Autograph app. I want to thank everybody for listening to the show tonight, watching the show, and staying up with us on a late night as the Bucks lose at 125-108. Encourage you to like, follow, subscribe, all of that. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend about the Cream City Crossover. I think that's everything. This has been anything else? Am I missing anything?
No,
Todd
I think you pretty much have hit it.
Todd asked what kind of lawyers are you guys, if you guys want to elaborate real quick.
Oh, so I do corporate and commercial real estate.
I do employment law, defense employment law. So, but yeah, so I think that's it. Back at it, like I said, Bucks at 60 tomorrow, and then back at it with the crossover on Friday night. Want to see some dubs? Want to see another dub on Friday night? I feel real good if Bucks can win Friday night. This has been a Cream City Media Group production. From the Guru, Trey Crosby III.
JT.
Chris King.
If we are your enemy, it's only because we dare to tell you the truth. Don't take no wooden nickels.